They say love is the highest human emotion, the most beautiful, the most transformative. But no one tells you that it can also be the most destructive. Because when you fall deeply in love, you don't just give someone your heart. You hand them the key to your sanity. And sometimes, that person turns the lock. Michael was 29, an ambitious software engineer in Boston. Smart, rational, focused. Until he met Rachel. She wasn't extraordinary in the usual sense. But she had that charm, that mystery that draws a man in and makes him feel like he's finally been seen. The first time they talked, he couldn't sleep that night. The second time, he skipped work. By the third time, he stopped seeing other people. It didn't take long before he wasn't Michael anymore. He was Michael in relation to Rachel. This is where the madness begins. Not with pain, but with obsession. Love doesn't always begin with beauty. Sometimes it begins with need. And need is dangerous, because love that begins in hunger always ends in weakness. Rachel wasn't toxic at first. She was just inconsistent. One day warm, one day distant. One moment affectionate, the next withdrawn. And that inconsistency became Michael's drug. He started living for the highs, and tolerating the lows, convincing himself, this is just how deep love is. It's supposed to hurt. But that's the lie. Love that constantly confuses you is not love. It's emotional roulette. And men, especially men like Michael, logical, loyal, not emotionally manipulative, they're the easiest prey for this madness. Case Study 2. Emily and Chris. Chris was a combat veteran. Tough. Resilient. But when he returned to civilian life, he felt empty. That's when he met Emily. She gave him something he hadn't felt in years. Softness. But also, unpredictability. Drama. Accusations. Jealousy. Emily would cry if he didn't text. Accuse him of cheating if he came home late. Threaten to leave, then beg him to stay. And somehow, Chris thought this was passion. Because in our culture, men are taught, if she's crazy about you, she must be the one. But here's the secret. Madness is not a sign of love. It's a sign of unhealed wounds. And when two people's trauma meets in the name of love, it doesn't create healing. It creates hell. Let's go deeper. Nietzsche once said, there is always some madness in love. But there is also always some reason in madness. So what's the reason? Why do men fall for women who hurt them? Because we don't fall for people. We fall for how they make us feel about ourselves. If you've spent your whole life feeling unloved, unworthy, unseen, and one person walks in and makes you feel wanted, you will ignore every red flag to protect that feeling. You'll romanticize the chaos. Because chaos that feels like love is still better than peace that feels like nothing. Jason was a writer in New York. Wrote love poems no one read. Until he met Lena, a painter with a reckless spirit. She'd disappear for days, cheat on him, cry in his arms, then paint his portrait. He called it a love too big for rules. But in truth, it was codependency in disguise. He wasn't in love with Lena. He was addicted to the pain she brought. Because it gave his life meaning. That's what no one tells you. Madness feels romantic when you have nothing else to live for. And the worst part? Society romanticizes this. You fight, you make up, you grow together. Real love is messy. She's crazy, but she's mine. We laugh at it in sitcoms. We write songs about it. We make movies where the man chases her through the airport. But in real life, no one shows the guy who sleeps in his car after she kicked him out, who loses his friends, who forgets who he used to be. So, what's the answer? Do we abandon love? Do we avoid all women? No. We evolve. You see, the problem isn't love. The problem is that most people mistake attachment for love, possession for love, fear of being alone for love. True love doesn't feel like madness. It feels like peace.